The knots look like this, or this. Then this tutorial is for you. I'll be teaching you how to get your knots well arranged. If that sounds really interesting to you, make sure you keep on watching. Okay, so firstly, I'm going to be teaching you how to place your Swiss lace properly. You want to make sure your Swiss lace, or if you're working on a HG lace, is placed facing vertically, not the other way around, horizontally. If your lace is placed like this, you're going to have your knots will not be looking well arranged. So you want to make sure your lace is placed vertically. I'm going to show you on my Swiss lace now. As you can see, this is the proper way to place your lace, not this way around. We have several spacing patterns. We have the one line one hole spacing pattern, the in between one line one hole spacing pattern, and the in between spacing pattern. There's several more, but these are the three major spacing patterns. And you have ventilation. So in this video, I'll be teaching you the one line one hole spacing pattern. This is what the one line one hole looks like. They are all ventilated on a vertical line from the sides. Like no matter how you turn it, they are all given the accurate look. It doesn't work for all hair types, but most braiders use it for braided wig. Okay, before I start ventilating, I want to first of all show you on my sketch I made on this paper for you to have a better understanding. So when you ventilate on the first line, you want to make sure you skip the second line, you vent on the third line, and you skip the fourth line. Just continue the process. To give you a better understanding on what I just explained on this paper, this is what I mean on the Swiss lace. If you take a closer look, you notice that when I vent on this first line, I skip the second line, this point. Then I vent on the third line, I skip the fourth line, I vent on the fifth line, I skip the sixth line, and I vent on the seventh line continuously. That's just basically what the lines mean on the one line ventilating pattern. I hope you understand what I mean. Okay, now for the holes, this is how it is arranged. When you vent on the first point, you skip the next joint and you vent on the next one. You skip the next one, you vent on the next one continuously, just like the way I explained for the lines. I'm going to repeat myself for you to get a better understanding. So like I explained before using my sketch, I'm going to do that again now. After venting on this point, I'm going to make sure I skip this part, vent on this point, I'll skip the next, vent on this point, skip the next, continuously till I'm done with that line. Then like I said before, I'll skip the second line. So for the next part, I'm going to duplicate what I did on the first line, on the third line, making sure the knots are accurate. So like I vent on the 2 points I ventilated, I'm going to repeat that same point, and the same space I skip on the first line, I'm going to skip that same space on the third line. I'm going to explain again, this time practically on my Swiss lace. If you're a new ventilator and you don't know anything about ventilation, check my previous video on how to vent a proper knot. You want to make sure that you fold your hair to create a loop. Okay, so now I'm making my first knot. Just so you know, you can start with any knot, rather any lines, but just make sure the first line starts with you maintain the accuracy like I explained, as long as you're working on the one line one hole ventilating pattern. So like I explained before, I'm going to skip the second point. After making my first knot, I'll skip the second point and vent on the next point, like the next joint on this particular straight line I'm working on. Let me zoom in so you get a better view. In case you're a beginner and you're wondering what kind of knot I'm working on, this is a single knot. And also, if you don't know the difference between single knots, double knots, split knots, double split knot, check my previous video on different kind of knots, so you get a better understanding. So I just stop at this point because I want this video to be very short and sharp. Now I'll just try to ventilate on the next line, making sure that I'm maintaining accuracy. The main trick about the one line one hole is accuracy. Everything is on a straight line. Vertical and horizontally, they are all on straight lines. So as you can see, the joints where I ventilated, just like I explained with my sketch rather, the joints where I ventilated on the first line, when I skipped the second line, I maintain that same joint on the third line continuously. That's just basically how to ventilate the 1 hour room. Now we've come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you learned something new. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel. Like this video, leave a comment, feel free to share, and I'll see you guys in my next video.